Yeah.
There we go. Everybody, could you just test your mic? And just a reminder to turn it when you speak. Towards yourself.
It seems a lot more sensitive now that they made the changes. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 2:04 p.m. Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Committee of Adjustments. I'm your chair, Melinda McGregor. I would also like to introduce the committee members. We have Anthony Rossi, Wayne Greco, and Joey Greco. I'd also like to introduce the Secretary Treasurer of the Committee of Adjustments, Michelle Kelly, and we have our planning representative, Steve Zukla.
Madam Chair, we'll just start with our land acknowledgement. I acknowledge with respect that we're in Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and known as Bawating. Bawating is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. Madam Chair, if I could have a motion for the minutes of August 16th.
Madam Chair.
Okay, by Anthony.
Sure.
And second by Joseph. And all in favor?
Thank you. I've not been advised of any disclosure. Is there any disclosure to declare? None. Madam Chair, then we'll move to the first tab on our agenda, and this would be tab 1 and 2, and it's a tandem twofold application, both a minor variance and a consent from Michael James Apple and Chris Applejohn and Christine Applejohn, and Mark Lepore is here, solicitor for the applicant. And Mr. McDonald is here as well. I will first give you the consent application and then the minor variance, and then we can discuss together. Michael James Applejohn and Christine Applejohn are the owners of Civic number 1411 Great Northern Road. It is located on the west side of Great Northern Road, approximately 115 meters north of Weigel Street. It is designated rural area in the official plan and is zoned RA rural area. Subject to approval of minor variance application A1923, the applicant is seeking the committee's consent to sever the northerly 27.9 meters by 70.8 meters or thereabouts from the subject property and attach it to the westerly abutting property municipally identified as 1433 Great Northern Road. The retained land will be approximately 0.729 hectares in size. And that's why we'll need a variance. The bylaw requires 0.8 hectares in the rural area. The retained lands would be 0.729 hectares, so slightly under the bylaw requirement. The intent of the application is to convey the proposed severed portion as a lot addition to 1433 Great Northern Road. Notice of public hearing was sent by person and mail to neighboring properties by posting a sign on site and by posting on the city's website for both applications. Technical review circulated departments and agencies had the following comments. Algoma Public Health had no objections. Bell Canada did not respond. Building Division did not respond. Conservation Authority advised that any development on the subject property will require a permit from the Conservation Authority. Engineering and Construction did not respond. Fire Services had no comment. Legal Department had no comment. Planning Division had no objections. PUC Distribution Inc. for electric service had no concerns. Public Utilities Commission Water had no concerns. There's been no evidence presented to suggest that approval would have a negative impact. There's no one in the gallery other than the respective parties to speak to the application. Recommended conditions of any approval are provide the transfer deed of land for certificate of official, lot addition clause would be included, provide a consolidation transfer, certificate application fee, reference plan, PIN abstract, PIN map, obtain a minor variance approval to reduce the lot area of the retained land, which we're going to consider today, discharge of charge or mortgage, partial discharge of charge or mortgage if there's any, and payment of municipal taxes. And I would just point out that insofar as the minor variance is concerned, the comments were the same. The only recommended condition there is obtain final consent approval of consent application B 2323. So if the consent was not finalized, the variance would no longer stand. And those are my submissions, Madam Chair. And again, it's Mark Lepore representing the application.
Thank you, Michelle. Mark, do you have anything you'd like to say to the committee or Michelle?
Chair Michelle, as always, did a great job at summarizing the applications. Ultimately, the intent is to sever the portion of property and add it as a lot addition to Mr. McDonald's existing property. The purpose of which is to allow more of a setback between the buildings on his existing property and also a lot more of a buffer between the two properties. There's an existing berm that effectively is natural lot line. We're trying to make the legal lot line and the natural lot line, so to speak, the same. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Great.
Thank you. Is there any questions from committee members for Michelle or Mr. Lepore? Okay, with that, I'm going to close the discussion, ask any comments or ask for a motion. Okay, thank you, Joseph.
Second.
And this is for the consent.
Consent.
Yeah, and with conditions. Perfect. So all in favor? You, and then I guess I'll ask for a motion for the minor variance. Thank you, Wayne.
Second that.
Second by Joseph. All in favor? Correct. Thank you, and motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to remind you, you don't have to sit through the rest of the meeting. Once your application's done, you're welcome to leave.
Chair will move to the next matter on our agenda under tab 3. And that would be application B 2423. And it's an application from Lisa Felton and Amy Ward. And neither applicant is in the gallery, although they're both out of town. So they've asked that the application move forward, seeing that there's been no objections to it. Lisa Felton and Amy Ward are the owners of lot 96 to 98 Smale subdivision, former township of St. Mary's, and identified as 93 Edmonds Avenue. It is located on the southwest corner of Edmonds Avenue and Cunningham Road. The subject property is designated residential in the official plan and is zoned R2, single unit residential. The applicant is seeking the committee's consent to sever a northerly 3.65 meter by 48.15 meter actually, strip from the subject property and attach it to the northerly abutting property municipally identified as 97 Edmonds Avenue as a lot addition. The intent of the application is to enhance the southerly interior side yard at 97 Edmonds Avenue. Notice of public hearing was sent by personal mail to neighboring properties by posting a sign on site and by posting on the city's website. The following internal departments and external agencies received an invitation to comment. No concerns were raised that would preclude this application from moving forward. Bell Canada right-of-way requests a 3-meter wide easement measuring 1.5 meters on either side of their aerial facilities, extending from the pole to a minimum 1 meter past the anchor installation, to be measured 0.5 meters on either side of the guy wire installation. I did provide that comment to the applicants and suggested that they provide it to the owner of the abutting property. I haven't heard anything back, but they're aware that it would be likely added as a condition. Building Division had no comments or concerns. Conservation Authority had no concerns or objections. Engineering and Construction did not comment. Fire Services had no comment. Legal Department had no comment. Planning Division had no objections. PUC Distribution Inc. Electric Service had no concerns. PUC Public Utilities Commission Water Services had no concerns. There's been no evidence presented to suggest that approval would have a negative impact. Recommended conditions of any approval are: provide the proposed transfer deed of land for certificate of official, include a lot addition clause, provide a consolidation transfer, certificate application fee would be owing, reference plan would have to be done, PIN abstract and PIN map would have to be provided. Minor variance application if required, and I don't presume, but the the condition would be in there and the survey would confirm. Discharge or charge of mortgage or partial discharge or charge of mortgage if required, payment of taxes, and convey easement to Bell Canada to provide and sustain service. And those are my submissions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Michelle. Do I have any questions for Michelle from committee members? No. Okay, with that, I'll close the discussion and ask for a motion or any comments.
It's a motion.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. And that's okay with all the conditions. Okay, and second by Wayne. And all in favor? Great, thank you.
Madam Chair, if I could have if there's no other business, I have a motion to adjourn.
Sure. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? By Joseph, second by Anthony. All in favor? Okay, meeting adjourned.
That's the record.